up and welcome back to Enterprise Tech Talk. My name is Bennett Smith. As always, really appreciate you taking the time to check out the channel and get engaged in these videos. Also really appreciate the emails that you guys have been sending. Love the engagement and really enjoy conversing with you guys about enterprise technology. It makes us all better as a community, and even a little bit of engagement will push us all forward, which is awesome. So thank you for that. I want to talk about something today that maybe is not necessarily technology specific in relation to a particular platform or software or database, but instead is almost kind of like an HR episode and is in really a big part of my worldview, frankly, and how I see enterprise technology and what's coming. You know, there's a lot of conversation out there, and quite frankly, a lot of it is just fear tactics about artificial intelligence ruling the world, and machine learning is going to put all of us out of a job, and 50 years from now, 100 years from now, whatever the latest estimate is, the planet's going to be run by machines. Let me just stop right there and say that is 100% not accurate. There is absolutely a place for things like artificial intelligence and machine learning, and they will replace jobs. They'll replace a lot of jobs, but that doesn't mean that they're going to run the world. And I think there's a really important distinction between those two things that needs to be drawn so that we can all move forward in a direction that is going to help push things in the right direction and set people up for success, rather than just scaring them and making them feel like they don't have a future outside of the job that they have today. Because I just don't believe that is accurate for the majority of people out there. So what is artificial intelligence? Well, I had an interesting conversation a while back, and a friend of mine who's not in the technology business was reading something in the news, and he brought up this comment, what do you think about all this talk about AI and machine learning taking over the world? How do we stop the robots from taking us over? And it was kind of a joke, but I responded very simply with, well, let's stop building them, right? So there's not a robot that built itself. That's just the truth. So if we don't want the robots to take over the world, we could just stop building robots because robots don't build themselves. But that's not the goal of this message, right? I'm not trying to stifle innovation. In fact, I love innovation, hence the channel, and want to see it push forward. But I think it's important to draw the distinction between things like machine learning and artificial intelligence and human cognition, and what that actually means for the future, because it's really important when you think about not only your job, but the jobs of your kids and grandkids. And so what is artificial intelligence? So artificial intelligence and machine learning, or deep learning and big data, and you throw out the big enterprise technology term that you want to use, it really gets down to computational speed and power, right? So as we've seen things like the cost of storage and the cost of compute power get lower and lower, and the amount of data grow in our ecosystem, it makes sense that we would be able to look at, process, and manage a very large, vast amounts, terabytes, petabytes worth of data in a much more efficient and quicker fashion. And we do that by writing algorithms. We do that by increasing compute power. We do that by optimizing our systems to move faster. And so artificial intelligence and machine learning is really just the concept of writing algorithms that can certainly learn how to do things better when it comes to processing hard factual data. But one of the things that is an important distinction is I've yet to meet a robot or an AI engine or a machine learning process that had a conscious. And consciousness is really what makes us innately human, right? And what makes us innately human is that conscious sense of self that we have, and that's how we know, that's how we think, it's how we feel, and quite frankly, it's what gets down to the entropy that's out in the universe. It's the sense of surprise. It's the art of free will, of which computers have none. A computer does what it's told to do. It may do it faster than the human mind could do it, but a computer does what the code tells it to do. And that code came from someone who wrote it, who had free will, who wasn't self-deterministic, but they out of their own bias and their own logic, they wrote a piece of code. They told the computer what to do, and that computer, a computer can computate math faster than most humans. That's for sure. But that doesn't necessarily make a computer smarter. And I think there's a really important distinction between computational speed and efficiency and intelligence, right? And so we call things like AI intelligence because they are able to process vast amounts of data in a very quick way. But they're only able to do that because somebody with a conscience told it what to do. And so it's really important when we think about the future to think about how do we marry computational power and algorithms that are written by humans with a conscience and a bias and theories. How do we take those things and pair them up with the conscious mind that is subject to free will that innately defines us as humans? And so two words, I guess, that come to mind is critical thinking. As I've grown through my career and gotten into the point where I'm now hiring people and managing people and having those types of opportunities and hiring people that are even younger than me, one of the things that I think we can all agree on is that for not only the younger generation, but quite frankly, people like myself and even people older than me, we're tempted to, if it's not on the first page of Google, like an answer doesn't exist. And that's becoming a problem in the way that we hire and the way that we manage people. And so this concept of critical thinking, I think, is massively important and is going to be the organizational and personal strength that pushes people beyond and into the next level of technology. And by critical thinking, I mean being able to take different applications and different platforms, different algorithms, and bring those things together to solve very complex problems. And sure, we'll use things like machine learning that can begin to understand patterns, and they can get better, and they can understand a pattern better the next time. But there's still a lot of algorithmic fine tuning that goes in on the back side of that. So how do we take this idea of critical thinking and this art of surprise that we have because we're humans and we have free will? How do we take that and move it forward in comparison or in parallel with things like artificial intelligence and consciousness that comes with being human? So I just want to call out something that I think is incredibly important as you think about your kids and you think about your own job and you think about your organization. It's, I think, the wrong assumption to believe that we're all going to lose our jobs to artificial intelligence. You're right. There are people that are going to lose their jobs due to artificial intelligence because a machine can do their math problem or sort through words faster than a human can, and it's just more efficient and cost effective to do it that way. But that just means that we need to retrain people and begin to help people to think critically. And we definitely are coming to a point in our society where it is going to be massively important from really the age of a couple years old and really birth on to help people begin to think critically and not just go to the free Google search for the answer. And really challenge our assumptions so that when it comes down to it, we are the valuable piece that has a conscience, that knows what it knows, that has feelings, that can make decisions on the fly, and that ultimately program and bring together technology in a way that can push the world forward. Now, if you are a determinist and you believe that you are on the planet and you are a robot and that you watching this video was predestined for you and you had absolutely no choice to do it, you were out of your own free will when you clicked watch this video, you're probably shaking your head and saying that, Bennett, you are an idiot, and that's not at all how it works. However, if you have been in love, if you have cried, if you have been angry, if you have felt something emotional, you are not a robot. You are a human and you have a conscience, and it's all of our jobs to learn how to think critically about the things that are coming in the future and not be afraid of technology, but rather marry critical thinking with faster, more powerful computational speed and efficiency, and algorithmic power, so that we can push the world forward. And it's our jobs as technology leaders to help the next generation and those that we sit beside and we see them in a job that could be automated by a machine. How are we helping them as organizations and friends and our government to help push them into and train them in new ways? So is AI going to take over the world? No. Are we going to be run by robots in 25, 30 years, 50 years? No. Our job's going to be replaced by robots today that are focused on how fast we can process numbers? Sure. But there's still plenty of time for us to get on the ball and begin to help those in front of us and behind us and that are standing right next to us begin to think about the world differently. And it's our job as technology experts to help make it happen. So let me know what you think. As always, please leave your comments, shoot me an email, enterprisetechtalk@gmail.com. Subscribe, share these videos if you enjoy them, and I'll talk to you next time.